As a plethora of new electric car startups try to get in on the stock market action, they are choosing that rather than taking the traditional IPO approach. They're deciding to resort to using special purpose acquisition companies, or SPACs, to hit the market. Is this a good decision? Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. You are watching The Electric Viking. My name is Sam Evans. Fantastic to have you here on board. Welcome to all the many new subscribers of the channel. Really good to have you here too. Now, make sure if you're new, you check out some of the 660 plus videos we've created over the last 6.5 to 7 months. Obviously, a lot more is to come, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on the channel with the most electric vehicle news anywhere on YouTube. I want to say a big thank you to all the people who have been here from the start. I know it hasn't been that long, 7 months since the channel started, but it's been wonderful to see so many of you here now for 7 months and still commenting and still letting us know what you think about what's going on. A lot of you share some really interesting insight on electric cars, on batteries, on technology. It's fantastic to see you contributing to the channel. Now, why do people use SPACs? Well, SPACs make it much quicker and easier to go public. But, and there's a big but, several companies that have entered the stock market via one of these blank check mergers with existing shell companies have already failed. Now, some of these failures were due in part to independent investigations by the likes of short selling groups such as Hindenburg Research. Now, as Inside EVs reports, Tesla CEO Elon Musk and Rematch founder Mate Rimac both warned against SPAC mergers last year. Elon said, caution strongly advised with SPACs. Well, one of the most recent companies to have turned into a complete disaster for investors was Nikola. They used this strategy to enter the stock market, and many investors have lost literally hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, by investing into a company which probably never should have been on the stock market in the first place. Now, Lucid is the latest to come under a little bit of controversy with using SPACs. Lucid Motors disclosed on Monday that it has received a subpoena from the SEC, sending its shares plunging 10% in early trading. Now, I recently made a video from a so-called expert writing on Seeking Alpha who claimed that they had invested 50% of their net worth into Lucid. You should check out the video on whether or not I think that's actually a wise move or not, and if you should do something similar. Now, the company said that the probe appears to concern the SPAC deal that took it public earlier this year, along with certain projections and statements. SEC is not just looking at the actual deal itself, it's also looking at some of the claims made by Lucid. Now, Lucid raised $4 billion through its combination with Churchill Capital Corporation, which was a shell company set up to take a company public without having to go through the typical initial public offering process. Now, that deal was announced in February, and shares started trading on the NASDAQ in July. Now, Lucid was founded and headed by former Tesla engineer Peter Rawlinson, and it's been a very hot EV company, even though it just started its first delivery of electric vehicles at the end of October. Now, in really good news for the company, it actually won the World Car of the Year on Car and Driver, which was quite an achievement. The same thing that Tesla achieved with the Model S about a decade ago. Now, its Lucid Air Dream Edition has been certified by the EPA for being able to do 520 miles on a single charge, which is pretty damn impressive. It's the longest range of any pure battery EV in America. A number of car companies in China would actually contend that their electric vehicles can go even further, but that doesn't matter. Regardless, it is a very impressive vehicle. And it actually has a longer range than any Tesla vehicle currently on sale. Of course, that does come down to the fact that it also has an enormous battery pack. Now, shares of Lucid have nearly doubled since they started trading on the NASDAQ. And Lucid is the latest in a growing group of upstart electric vehicle companies with big questions about their financial projections. As a cautionary tale, shares of Nikola, which plans to make electric and fuel cell powered trucks, plunged in September 2020. After Hindenburg Research, a short seller, accused the company of an intricate fraud, and it turned out to be true. Hindenburg claimed Nikola's products were much farther from reaching the market than it advertised by its founder, the trickster, the fraudster, Trevor Milton, who is currently probably likely to go to jail, and was forced to resign in February after the company's own internal investigation found that he intentionally misled investors. Now, Milton now faces federal criminal charges, as well as charges from the SEC that he deceived investors. Of course, comparing Nikola with Lucid is not really a fair comparison. The reality is Lucid is actually producing vehicles for sale. Both are down 90% from their record highs. So could this happen with Lucid? Down 90%? No. 100% that will not happen. That said, I'm not a genie with a magical crystal ball, but I think it's pretty clear that you're not going to see a 90% loss in Lucid's share price. Could 50% happen? Absolutely it could. The company, in my view, is massively overvalued. Why is it overvalued? Well, personally, I look at the number of vehicles or the number of services or the actual revenue a company could make in 5 to 10 years now based on their actual plans. Realistically, Lucid is not planning on delivering millions of cars in 2025 or other services which could possibly justify its current price. So I do believe Lucid is overvalued. I don't recommend investing in the company for that reason. However, does that mean I don't like the company? No, it is an excellent company with fantastic prospects, and I'm really impressed by its current vehicles. I'd love to own one. Lucid, putting my hand up here, let me test drive one of your vehicles. I'll be the first to say I would absolutely love to own a Lucid Air. Beautiful vehicle on the inside and out with some very impressive technology. Thanks for watching the video. Look forward to seeing you again on the next one. Bye-bye.